Beloved, when I came to the Lord in 2003 and 2004, the Lord was talking to me in audible voice every day, and all the time it was long conversation about all the issues of life. You cannot imagine the way God Himself was talking to me, a simple human. What surprised me is that I sought to know whether the Lord was also speaking to other brother and sister the way He spoke to me, but I was stunned to learn that I was the only one among brothers and sisters that was conversing with the Lord every day and all the time. I was looking for someone who was going through what I was experiencing so that we can share about these encounters, but was unable to find someone. I was astonished the way the Lord was speaking to me every day, for He was interested in little details of my daily life, and we were talking and laughing as if He was a human. Whenever something urgent is about to happen, the Lord would tell me, "Daughter, pray and intercede because such sister is facing death and is about to die." Whether I am sleeping or awake or busy, I was always talking to God like you will talk to a friend. We even talk about things that are not related to the spiritual world but daily routines of human life. 10 years later, in 2013, I was wondering why these experiences were more intense in the first 3 years of my Christian walk than now. I know that I still dream and still hear the audible voice of the Lord, because He does not hide things from me. But not like in the first 3 years of my Christian walk. People told me it's because it was the first love. I accepted their opinion. It was in 2014, after I had finished praying, I was about to lay down on the bed. I heard the audible voice of the Lord. Brethren, I would like you to hear what the Lord told me. On that day I heard the Lord voice telling me, "Thus say the Lord, daughter Adeline, when a baby has been delivered, you will see that the mother is all the time beside him. If the mother move away to do something in the kitchen, she will come back quickly to attend to the baby. Even if the baby is asleep and the mother is busy working in the kitchen, she will still keep coming back to check if the baby is sleeping properly. The mother will arrange the baby position. She will cover him with the blanket if he is not well covered. She will make sure the baby is sleeping well before she returns to the kitchen to continue cooking. As she cooks, she will still keep coming back to check the baby, and if the baby sleeps too long she will wonder, and she may wake him up and make him drink milk. But when the baby begin to grow, the mother will work in the kitchen leaving the baby on the cradle, and she will only come back to the baby in case the baby cry. When the baby become a toddler, the mother will not let him sleep in the cradle but the baby will be sleeping on the bed. The busy mother will be much more relaxed because she know that the toddler will not pull the blanket on his face, which may stop him from breathing properly. But when the toddler cry, the mother will know that he is awakened and cannot come down from the bed by herself. The mother will go get the toddler and carry him. As the toddler grow up more, when he cry on the bed, the mother will call him to come to her. This is because the mother know that the toddler is able to come down from the bed by himself. The mother expects the toddler to come down from the bed by himself and join her, and the mother will give him something to eat. But when the toddler wake up and instead of getting off the bed to join his mother he begin to cry, the mother will leave the kitchen and go to him, and she will rebuke the child because she expect the child to come down from the bed by himself and join her instead of crying like when he was still a baby. The mother won't be happy because she expect the child to start doing things by himself. She expects the toddler to come down from the bed by himself and come to the living room to join her. The Lord said no parent will be happy to see his child growing up physically but behaving like a baby. The Lord said, for the mother to leave the kitchen where she is busy to go to the toddler where he is sleeping. She will do that only if she hear the child screaming or shouting. For even if he has become a toddler, if the child scream or shout in his bedroom, the mother will abandon whatever she is doing and will rush quickly to the child room. The Lord said, the mother will first grab the child and carry him and ask him if he is all right, and she will be checking around if everything is all right. As the Lord was talking to me about all this, I was just listening and wondering why he was telling me all this. The Lord said to me, it's like you, Adeline. I said, really? The Lord said, when you were born again, when you newly came to me, I was carefully taking care of you like a baby. I was all the time beside you. Every time you pray, I was there talking to you face to face. Even when you don't pray, I was still there talking to you because you were a baby. But today you are grown up. You cannot cry like a baby in a cradle. You are now able to come off the bed and leave the bedroom by yourself and come to me where I am. You cannot wake up from the bed and just cry like a baby and expect me to come because you are no longer a baby. I will come only when I hear you screaming to me, for when you scream to me I will know that you are in danger and in an emergency situation. My daughter, since you are grown up I am expecting you to make prayers with great screams, so that I come to you because you are no longer a baby, you are grown up. The Lord asked me, daughter, do you know what I means by great screams? I said, Lord, I don't know. The Lord said, great screams means you must live fasting and praying fervently, seeking my face and entering in depth. That's way I will come down to you the way I was manifesting when you were born again. I was stunned to hear the Lord speak this way. He said, daughter, when you came to me in the beginning, whenever you fast for 2 or 3 days I was manifesting and speaking to you face to face. The issue is that you have remained in that level of 3 and 4 days fasting while I expected you to do more days of fasting and prayer. I know that you are still praying and fasting, but I was expecting you to do more than what you are doing now, for what you are doing now is what you always do. I want you to pray more, to fast more than that, because you have grown up already. It is when you will pray more that I will come to you like when you first came to me. I said, is that so? The Lord said, that is the way it is. In truth, when I came to the Lord I had many battle and I was praying a lot. But when the battle went away I decided to slow down and rest, yet the Lord expected me to pray more. Even if God continued to speak to me, it was not like in the beginning. Brother, when you are a baby there is an attitude the Lord will have with you because He will tolerate and understands that you are a baby. But when you are grown up the Lord will not accept or tolerate you to behave like a child, because He will be offended and will even punish you because you are grown up. But for the one who is a child the Lord will accept his behavior because he is a child. That is why brothers committing the same sin, one will be punished and the other will not be, for one is already mature and should not behave that way, but the other is still a babe. It is clear that the Lord wants us to make progress and grow. We cannot stay in the same spot. The issues is that may have come to Christ and after many years they are still struggling with willful sin, yet we were supposed to battle with sin when we were baby. And if after many years you are still struggling with sin, you are far from where the Lord is waiting for you, because the Lord wants us to grow. He is not happy when we remain children after all these years. To grow does not mean to become a pastor, it means you have long passed the life of sin. That's where the Lord is waiting for you and me. If confession times come you should find it difficult to see a sin in your life and your prayer should be general. We must be manifesting the fruit of the Spirit by now. Days after this encounter, I was in my workplace in the hotel since I am room maid. This hotel in France also receive people of English-speaking country, but they don't have employee that could speak English. When they learned that I could speak English, the manager rushed to promote me to work in the reception, and I began to work in the reception. As a result of my promotion, the attitude of my co-worker and friend Elizabeth changed, for I was no longer working with her as room maid. On that day jealousy and envy arose in her heart and she could no longer bear my presence and began to persecute me. I mean, every time we meet in the workplace she would say words of scorns and mockery, and this was every day. I was hurt every day by this friend of mine who became malicious and wicked towards me just because I was promoted, but I was not responding to her scorn and mockery, though it was hateful. Still she continued to abuse me with her words of scorn and mockery. Her actions were unacceptable, but I accepted this treatment, for children of God are called to accept these treatment with patience and endurance without responding. Especially when you live fasting, the enemy will send people that offend and aggravate you, and the moment you react with the flesh you have actually broken your fasting. I said I will ignore her action, I will not respond, but she continued with her action, ignoring even my salutation. As I continued to ignore her attitude, she continued to hurt me. Beloved, I did not know that in these kind of situation the Lord look at our response to check whether we are broken and humble. If you encounter hard people at your workplace or school, understand that the Lord know the mistreatment and abuse you are going through, and God is looking at your response in that situation. I was tempted to report my friend Elizabeth to the boss because the boss like me a lot, but I knew if I report her she will lose her job. But Elizabeth did not know that I had the power cause her to lose her job. One day Elizabeth attacked me verbally. I said to myself, today I have no choice but to respond to this woman. enough is enough. Since she had celebrated her 50 years of age not long ago, I took my phone and pretended to talk to someone on the phone in order to mock and scorn her. I said on the phone, when you are 50 years old you must have a respectable job, not these useless short-term job of short-term contract. At 50 you must have a serious job like the long-term contract that I got in this hotel because I am officially employed here and it is a guarantee for the future. My friend Elizabeth was stunned and hurt by my response of scorn and mockery. I said on the phone, some people boast that they have reached 50 but they don't want to have a serious job. They are moving from one place to another. When will you stop and leave these short-term jobs? To youngster, I was so virulent that my colleague Elizabeth could not take it. She was so hurt that she moved away in shame. I was happy to have responded to her continual abusive behavior. On that day Elizabeth could not bear my presence. She was running away from me. I said in myself, had I responded earlier I would have avoided her continual abuse. Brother, we must be careful how we respond when we are abused, mistreated and tried. On that day when the work was finished I was in the car with my husband and he said we should get in the superstore to buy something. At that moment I felt so exhausted that I told him to go, I will be waiting for him. When my husband left me in the car and has entered the store, I felt like exhaustion and I heard the audible powerful voice of the Lord. He told me, Adeline, if a child smack you, do you really need to respond and smack him back? I jumped out of sleep with fear. I had no idea that the Lord was talking about my reaction to my colleague in the workplace. I wonder, why is God asking me these questions? What does it mean? When my husband came back I said, the Lord just asked me a question. When a child smack you, do you have to respond and smack him back? I and my husband concluded that there are children who are hard-headed. Maybe when you smack him he feel the pain and he will learn. Brother, we were on the car before the red light and a little sleep took over me for a second. Immediately I heard the tremendous voice of the Lord, who rebuked me. He said, daughter Adeline, it is you, the people of the world, who think that you have to smack back a child so that when he feel pain he can learn the lesson. But that's not the way I see it. Brother, I felt terrible because the Lord rebuked me with a thunderous voice. The Lord said, as far as I your God is concerned, when a child smack you as an adult you don't need to respond and smack him back. I said, really? The Lord said, I am your God and I tell you today, when a child smack you, because you are an adult you will not respond to him with a smack. I said to myself, I have not even smacked a child, why is the Lord rebuking me? The Lord spoke again in a tremendous voice to rebuke me. Daughter Adeline, you are a grown-up but someone else child smack you in the workplace and you responded by hitting her hard with a big smack. I am your God and I am telling you today, Adeline, when you go to work tomorrow, the first thing you will do is this: you will go and ask Elizabeth for forgiveness because of the way you have hit her. I heard these words of the Lord while our car was there on the boulevard before the red light waiting for the green light. These words were spoken in few seconds and I jumped out the sleep in astonishment. The Lord was angry against my response in this situation. Even if Elizabeth was older than me, the Lord called her a little girl and said I was an adult. It was a powerful rebuke and I was trembling and I was in terror when I arrived home. I don't like the Lord rebuking me for it. Leave me unsettled. I could not wait to go to Elizabeth to ask for forgiveness. Really, the Lord know how to break his children in order to remove pride so that we can have humility and simplicity. The Lord expected me to respond with goodness because I was mature. The following day at the workplace, when I saw Elizabeth, I said, "Hi Elizabeth." But it was as if I chased her away because she stood up in indignation and went away. I went to my office. As I was doing my work, I heard the voice of the Lord telling me, "Do you remember that I told you to ask Elizabeth for forgiveness before the sundown? She is getting her things ready because she is almost done for today. Go ask her for forgiveness." I said, "It is 1. Normally she finishes at 3. Why has she finished early?" When I got before her, she wanted to run away from me and I said to her, "Elizabeth, why are you running away from me? Forgive me the way I abused you yesterday. I did not like all the abuse that you subjected me to. That is why I responded that way, but forgive me because I won't do it again." She said, "It's all right, it's good." Then she went away. When she went away, I felt a divine peace in my heart. Though I expected her to apologize for all the abuse she subjected me to, she never apologized and went away. It was the last day I saw Elizabeth, for she was sacked by the agency. In truth, had she asked me for forgiveness, she would have kept her job, but she hardened her heart.